Okay, I wanted to show a defense that just came up with for dealing with under the leg passes. Again, I've done a few instructionals specifically on this, not just for jiu-jitsu purposes, but also because this is one of the main places where you can get really collapsed, really have your body kind of crushed when somebody's giving you a lot of pressure, younger guy, maybe a little bit older, the joints aren't quite as flexible anymore, and also where a lot of the pop rib injuries come up. So that's what I've dealt with before, and I've talked about in the membership site the mime framing, but we've got another one that works really well because some of the ways that people will break that down, if they're very methodical with being able to collapse your partner's body and fold them up, it's going to be hard to pull that off. So this has been working great. So I'm just going to demonstrate one of the ways to do an under the legs pass. So from here, let's say that I've come underneath. First I'm controlling the legs, then I get the body. A lot of times from here I like to think about lifting up and then putting a prop. So my partner's hips are elevated and I just prop it up on top of my knee. Now, instead of reaching here where he starts to hand fight me or create space between us, I press forward and I feed until I get my grip nice and tight. And then I take this hand and instead of just controlling his leg or putting it on the mat, I actually grab the back of his pants. Now when I go for my sprawl, it's hip to hip attachment and I bring Ryan's knee to his nose. And at this point, he really mechanically doesn't have anything to keep me away. Now if he's got a good frame extended, okay, walking on my shoulder or my rib cage or whatever I'm kind of leading the pass with, whatever I'm coming around his leg with, that can be very effective. But still, I can kind of wiggle, break that down a little bit. So if we show it from this side, so if you're just doing like kind of this frame, this does work really well. But from here, if I do a really good job of continuing to wiggle, and that'll start to buckle this frame a little bit. Okay, his hand has to fold to put some pressure on his wrist, and I just keep wiggling this in and lifting his hips until that knee touches his nose. And then always pressing off the mat. At some point, you guys probably know the feeling, you just want the legs to go by. You just want to start playing defense. You want to pass. So now we'll go ahead and switch this over. And let's just take a look now. I'm going to let Ryan get in nice and deep on his grip. Okay? And we'll take a look at what I'm doing. Okay, go ahead. All right, so why'd that look so easy? He was actually trying. And if I try and do the same thing again, okay, go ahead. Nice and deep. Go. Even if I have a good frame in here, yeah. It's very difficult once he kind of feels like the window to get in there aggressively early. So we take a look. Let's just cut the angle a little bit here. Good. So if you take a look, what I'm trying to do from here is make it so I'm a little bit further away. Difference between here and here is the few inches from my wrist to my knuckles. And also, nice straight, like I'm almost throwing like a vertical punch, won't bend. So what I'm doing here, this works, it's possible to do this no gi. It certainly works a bit better with the gi because there's less slippage, even though we have some interpretations for no gi. But I'm going to grab his belt or down on his waistband, right on his hip, and I just extend here. And my other hand is going to go underneath my leg, but right here. So I grab his own lapel and I just direct it right essentially into his carotid. Not to cause pain, just because that's the two focal points where if I control his head and shoulder line and his hip line, those are the two lines that he's got to beat me with. Now, if you look, he's not going to be able to collapse me in the same way because of that space. Good. So from here, okay, I'm chilling out, keep going. He drives in with his hip a little more, I got it. He drives in with his head and shoulder a little more, I got it. And what I'm waiting for is just that moment when I can scoot that in. And now I can recover however I want to. Okay, throwing this over, putting this inside, really depends on what he does at that point. I'm still going to do this, okay, get a nice hook on him. And if we take a look from the other side, you see the action on my other leg. So grips, go ahead. This one is supporting here. And I'm not trying to twist my body because again, that's where I could have the rib injury. So from here I just keep, so his hip can't quite make that seal. I've got some space to work with. And now, using this foot, I just scoot, scoot until that knee comes in. and recover. Very easy on the body in terms of wear and tear.